Welcome this morning to EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique tapping for courage and strength. And what we're going to do is we'll tap on acupressure meridian endpoints that rise close to the surface of the skin. And this will help to move stored emotional energy through the meridians themselves and release it. So the beauty of tapping is that neurologically, somatically, you move the impulses that the nervous system is generating that create complex emotions or sometimes fear and anxiety and fight flight kinds of responses, freeze responses. And we can, in the gentlest way possible, release that so that we're thinking more clearly, we feel more grounded, more centered, and more able to function from what I call the higher self, or in meditation, you might call it the witnessing capacity within us. So I think everyone in the group has a meditation background or practice. And as you know, sometimes, you can sit to meditate and it's just thoughts, 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 thoughts. Or, it's not, it can take a while for all of that to calm down. So the tapping helps, very directly, somatically, to calm down all of the chatter. So we start with finding a couple of tender spots on your upper chest. So you can just massage with your thumbs. And in tapping, we do a lot of deep breaths, exhaling through the mouth. And I encourage you to make a sigh or a ha, even a moan. And this is how we will begin the tap. This is the setup point. And from there, then we go to the bottom rib, which would be like the center of the chest on the bottom rib, tapping on these points. And you can use both hands. I like to use 2 fingers. You can use 1 or 2 fingers. You can use all your fingers. It doesn't have to be super precise. If you get tired, you can just tap on one side. It'll still be effective. Then big exhale. Tap under your arm. So this is the midline. You can also find these same points here. So they're kind of at the bra line or the ribs there. And from there we go to the hand. So we're going to go to the base of the palm, the wrist, those 2 little wrinkly lines there. You're just tapping at the base there where the little hump of the pinky side of the hand is on those lines. Big exhale. And then turn your hand like a karate chop hand and tap at the base of the thumbnail. And we will be doing a dialogue as we tap. And even right now, you can just repeat, say, I'm open to loving and accepting myself just the way I feel right now. We'll start with that. And then go to the index finger, tapping on the same point again, where the base of the nail meets the skin. Middle finger, same point. And you might even notice that without even dialoguing, your body may be calming down. You may feel tingling sensations. You may feel the need to yawn or burp. And go to the bottom of the ring finger. Big exhale through the mouth. So the ring finger, we're doing the lower side of it, the bottom side of it. It's the only point, meridian end point, that we tap on the fingers that's on this other side of the finger. When we go to the pinky finger, we go back to that top side again. And from there, we go to the head. So you can go to the back of the head on the top, the sides, the back. There are a lot of meridian endpoints all throughout the scalp. And I think the most significant ones that we really need to make sure we tap on are this, at the top of the head here, at the back where that kind of rounding the curve from the parietal bones to the occiput, if you know a little anatomy. And then we're going to come to the brow points. There are these 2 points where the eyebrows run out of hair, kind of at the top of the nose. And then the sides, you're going to go to the top of the cheekbone. So just below the temples, that little indentation in the eyes, but right on top of the cheekbone. And then under the eyes, the center of the eyes, on the cheekbone here, the zygoma. And then under the nose, there's that little valley right there. Under the lip and that divot in the chin. And then we come to the top of the chest and we're just going to tap in circles. And this is emotional reset place. So it's signaling the nervous system that change is in process already happening. So that would be a round of the tap. And we're just going to follow that. We're going to go through it again and again. And don't worry too much if you can't find the spots. Just keep tapping. It doesn't have to be exactly on point. And just catch up if you find yourself, like sometimes we close our eyes when we're tapping, and then you may kind of open your eyes and realize we're on another point. You can just jump in wherever we are. It's really fine. So that part of tapping is very forgiving. Doesn't have to be super precise. Now we're going to be, I'll be speaking a narrative, and then it's a call and response. So when I say, like the beginning where we're the setup point here, we're saying even though, and then you would say even though, and I would say I'm feeling anxious. Now, if you're not feeling anxious, you may be feeling something else, expansive, people said, or some people said concerned or worried, or how can I be of help, or triggered in some way. So use the word that's true for you, because what we're really doing, you can change the words. You don't have to say exactly what I say, because what we're really doing is we're bringing forward what your body is storing. So you can change the word to be what's true for you. You'll get much better results. If I'm tapping on being happy and you're feeling mad, then you need to plug mad in there so that you get your needs met. Hope that makes sense. It's very simple. Okay, so then let's start here with the setup point. So find those couple of tender spots in the upper chest. Let's take a moment before we even go into the tap and just do a little grounding and centering. Just felt like, let's do that. So take some easy deep breaths. And I invite you to, we've had this conversation, so I invite you now to bring your focus, your energy down through the center of your body. So out of the head, through the throat, into the heart. The heart center, at the center of your chest. Just take a moment to breathe in through your heart center. Breathing in love and kindness. Breathing it into your heart, bathing your heart. This is a very sweet community that we've gathered together today. And reassurance for the heart. So just somatically sense into the depths of your heart, the back of the heart close to the spine. Inviting nourishment from the Sangha, from all of our wonderful intentions. Just the shared presence of being together in this way, in a healing way. And then come down to the solar plexus area, just below the ribs, center of the body. Take a moment to breathe, maybe 2 or 3 soothing, reassuring breaths here to the solar plexus. This is a safe community, a caring environment for whatever shows up, whatever we bring, whatever surfaces. It's safe to process and be present and be included and be seen and receive support. And then come down to the lower belly, dantium, second chakra area. And just breathing, softening. There's a sense of nourishment here. And part of what we're here to do today with the tap is create a more loving, beautiful, coherent reality. And you may have your own words for that. More wisdom. And coming down to the root, so the root chakra, the perineum, tailbone. So the resourcing that we're calling in has so much to do with the root. So with your next breath, as you exhale, just imagine that you're sending roots down your legs and out your feet and into the earth. It's like a tree going down, down, down into the earth and working in the imaginal realms here. Just get a felt sense of rooting into a nourishing and nurturing earth that we are a part of, that we belong to while we're here in bodies. The root is where we take in nourishment. You can literally imagine waking up food for your body, energetic nourishment on the cellular level, the stem cells of your body, an emotional renewal, cleansing energy from the earth, simplifying receiving. So you can begin to receive up through the gates of the feet, into the legs, and up into the root, whole pelvic ball. We're going to explore the space of the pelvic ball, the tailbone and the sacrum at the back, the base of the spine. So back to front, tailbone and sacrum to the pubic bone and the sit bones. There's a dimension, front to back dimension of the bones of the pelvis. And just sense into that. It may be even bigger than you think it is. And then notice the side to side dimension of the hip bones, the right to the left side. That this is a big ball, pelvic ball, the hip bones. And those openings in the pelvic bones that allow the femurs, the bones of the thighs, allow you to walk and be mobile. And the sacrum and tailbone attached to the spine allows us to be upright. So this is a very key and pivotal place in our bodies for bringing in a sense of security and stability. And when we've had a lot of trauma or upset, the root sometimes gets overwhelmed. So we'll be feeding our root, the root chakra today. Really help us bring in nourishment, receive nourishment. And a source of steadiness. So throughout the tap, pay attention to, like, check in once in a while with your pelvic bowl, your root, your legs and feet. And keep bringing yourself back to the body. When the root is strong, then you feel steadier and you feel supported. Okay, so we'll go back into the tap now. Let's begin with the upper chest. Even though, and then you repeat even though, and again, change the words if the words I say aren't true for you, because that's where you'll get the most benefit. Even though I'm feeling overwhelmed, or maybe insecure, or feeling some fears, or depressed, or anxious. Different words were used, so fill in the blank there. I know that I'm worthy of love and kindness. Let's go to the brow points. There's so much chaos in the world right now. Side of the eyes. I'm worried about my country and the way things are going. Cheekbones. I'm concerned about the virus and how it's affecting so many people's lives, including mine. Under the nose. I'm really concerned about the people who have housing insecurity all over the world. Under the lip. I'm really concerned about global movements that are leaning more and more to fascism. So notice, as this was brought into the tap, by the group here. Notice what happens. Like for me, when I even speak those words, I feel tension in my chest. So notice what you're feeling in your body. I feel tense in my chest. I feel a little speeded up around my heart and chest center, bottom rib. I feel a little tension in my solar plexus. And it's very helpful to just name somatically, name the sensation and the location where you're feeling it. And I'm open to loving and accepting myself, even with these emotions that feel so uncomfortable to me. Big exhale. Base of the wrist. I just don't like how it feels when I get anxious. Side of the thumb. When I get anxious, I don't think very clearly. Index finger. When I get anxious, I feel panicky. Just like there is a scared child inside of me. Middle finger. Or maybe even a scared part of me when I was an adult in the past. And maybe this part of me still feels scared. Go to the bottom of the ring finger. Or anxious, because there's a residue there of some uncomfortable feelings from long, long ago, pinky finger, that I never really got to process. Go to the side of the hand. And I love and respect myself. Now, if in the moment self-love isn't available to you, then you can say, I'm open to loving and accepting, respecting myself, or I'm open to the possibility of loving myself. Again, say what feels most true to you in this moment. You can't trick your subconscious. So go with it, even if it may seem like the more negative choice in the short term. So we're going to go to the top of the head, as we can tap on these uncomfortable feelings and be present to them and facilitate the movement that occurs when we stop suppressing or compressing that stored energy. It's okay for me to acknowledge that sometimes I have my days where I feel really anxious, brow points, or scared. Some days I feel kind of panicky. I don't know how, side of the eyes, I don't know how to manage this energy in present time when it gets really intense. Cheekbones. There are so many triggers, right and left, one thing after another. No wonder I feel such a need for kindness and softness under the lip, and truth telling, and sanity, upper chest, and calm. I'm remembering that my root now can be a calming place for me. And my heart can run so much love through my heart. I can feel it, I can sense it, and I can amplify it by focusing on this love. Under the arms. Maybe this loving part of me that already knows how to feel love and how good it feels can help with the part of me that feels scared or anxious. Go to the base of the wrist. It's understandable that a part of me would feel scared and anxious. Side of the thumb. I love and accept myself no matter how I'm feeling in this moment. Index finger. Feelings change. Feelings need to move. Middle finger underneath all these emotions. There is a place in me, bottom of the ring finger, that feels steady. There's a place in me that is bearing witness right now to me sitting here tapping on my fingers, pinky finger, and breathing. Side of the palm. I love and accept myself, all the ways that I feel. Top of the head, sides of the head, and back of the head. And sometimes when I feel really upset, it's because I'm feeling other people's feelings and they get confused with my own. Let's do another big breath. Brow points. I'm giving myself permission to set energetic boundaries so that even when I am witnessing or supporting someone, sides of the eyes, who's in a lot of pain or fear, I can stay connected with the earth, cheekbones, with the root, with my own roots into the earth, and with my own heart. I can slow things down. I can notice my breath, just check in with my breath. And it may be helpful to take a deeper, slower, longer breath. So sometimes we get into what's called the freeze response, where we're kind of holding our breath, or we feel frozen, we don't take action. And with that sensation comes, thank you. If you notice yourself, sometimes I go into the freeze response, and one of the ways we can work with the breath in that situation is to take a longer inhale and a shorter exhale. So we could just try that now, like inhale on the count of 5 and exhale on the count of 3. Let's do that 2 or 3 more times. And then exhale on the count of 3. Exhale, good. 1 more time. And exhale on the count of 3. So when we inhale, when we increase the length and depth of the inhale, it's not balanced with the exhale, but that can also give us energy to come out of the freeze response. Whereas if you go to the bottom rib, if you're in the fight or flight response, where you feel like I have to get out of here, or I need to fight right now, and if that's not by circumstances absolutely the case, because a lot of times it's a response that we're having from the nervous system that's really rooted in a past experience, but in the moment we're just reading a newspaper article or watching the news, which maybe we need to do less of. But in any case, reminding yourself you're safe, coming out of fight or flight, then you would take a longer, go to the side ribs, inhale, longer exhale, sorry. So we'll inhale on the count of 3, exhale on the count of 5. Inhale on the count of 3, exhale on the count of 5. One more time, inhale, count of 3, exhale, count of 5. Bottom of the wrist. So this is another skill that I can bring to any situation. I can remind myself that my breath is my ally. Side of the thumb. I know myself to be a courageous person in many situations. Go to the index finger. And sometimes I wonder where all that courage has gone. Sometimes I feel like a scared child again. Middle finger. And I'm beginning to think. Bottom of the ring finger, that when I feel really panicky or anxious or scared, that pinky finger, that this is a part of me that's carrying the anxiousness or the fear. It's not the whole of me. Side of the bottom of the hand, karate chop point. It's a part of me that's in distress. Top of the head, sides of the head. And there's many parts. I have so many parts. And some parts of me are still young. I still may feel powerless or scared or hurt by experiences from the past that never fully got resolved. Brow points. I love and accept myself, even with my history and whatever unresolved trauma I may be carrying. I can still let myself breathe. Sides of the eyes. I can enjoy a deep breath. I can, cheekbones, enjoy connecting with the earth, digging in the dirt, under the nose, hiking, walking, lying on the earth, under the lip, gaining strength from how long the earth has been here and how much life the earth supports and has supported for thousands and thousands of years. Upper chest. So even though things seem critical and in some ways dire right now, there's a part of me that sees from a bigger time frame, from a more spacious perspective. Bottom rib. This part of me that's bearing witness to the sensations in my body when I do feel anxious or scared. This part of me under the arms that feels expansive and joyful and confident that We are heading into a new reality that's going to be much more aligned with my core values, with our core values. Base of the wrist, with kindness. Side of the thumb, with care for all people. Justice between all peoples, all skin colors, all languages. Sisterhood and brotherhood is a true possibility. And consciousness shifts. Middle finger. We may be in for some bumpy times. We're already in them, and they may be ongoing for quite a while. Bottom of the ring finger, we don't know. We don't know where this is going, where we will land, how long there will be so much uncertainty in the field. Pinky finger, big exhale. Even though I know that uncertainty, karate chop point, on the side of the hand, that uncertainty is a central tenet of Buddhism and the true nature of reality, I'm still not all that comfortable with it. Even though a part of me knows, my soul knows, that uncertainty is part of the excitement and part of the realm of infinite possibilities that can open to us when we're in that transition stage of uncertainty. I'm meeting myself with kindness here because everything about the way I was raised and so much of the culture cries out for certainty. We've tried to build a world, side of the eyes, that's much more certain under the eyes than the true nature of reality under the nose. So I've been taught to try to control things or to want things to be under control under the lip. And now I'm finding out I don't like that so much. I don't like things being out of control when it's chaotic and unsafe. And I sure don't like there being so much control that's contributing to being unsafe and unwell and lack of justice. I can see that control is maybe not on my side. Maybe I'm here instead to be present. Bottom rib, to the best of my ability in the moment. Even if that means under the arms, acknowledging those times that I feel panicky or scared or triggered for whatever reason, and understanding that I'm not alone here. That this is happening to so many of us. And sometimes, base of the wrist, sometimes I'm the one comforting a friend or a loved one. Base of the thumb, and sometimes I'm the one who needs to be comforted and reassured. And so I'm grateful to be here today in this group, where together we are bringing forth kindness, index finger, and courage. I've been feeling so vulnerable, middle finger. And the truth is that I'd like to live in a world where it's safe to feel vulnerable. Because even though sometimes it feels scary to feel so vulnerable, bottom of the ring finger, my vulnerability shows me who I really am and what I really need and what nourishes me and what true kindness is and what honesty really is and what integrity really is. This vulnerable part of me comes from love and will return to love, just like the fearful parts or the anxious parts. It's completely understandable that I would be feeling anxiety, that I would be feeling afraid. Turn on the news for 1 minute and there's another horror story being played. It's a little ridiculous. It's over the top. Surely there's more going on in the world than that. It's one thing to be informed. It's another thing to be drenched in terrifying, panicky stories. It's one thing to have compassion, go to the brow points. And it's another thing to honor my own boundaries so that I can be loving and supportive. Side of the eyes, without taking on emotions that aren't mine, that aren't cheekbones, grounded in my connection to the earth and the stars and the cosmos. I'm reminding myself that there are people who love me and people who I love, Chin. And there are so many people, loving people all over the planet, upper chest, who I'm not seeing in the news, who are getting shouted down. And it seems that the media is in a frenzy about that. Bottom rib. So no wonder I get anxious or fearful. Under the arms. I love and accept myself no matter how I'm feeling. Go to the base of the palm. And I'm not downplaying or denying the seriousness of what's happening in the world or in my country. Base of the thumb. I acknowledge it and I feel I see it pretty clearly. Index finger, and I'm giving myself permission to slow down, root, ground, middle finger, and reach for pleasure. And that could be really simple pleasure. Smelling a rose always does it for me. So you may have other ways that you find pleasure. A beautiful day and being outdoors, listening to your favorite music or dancing around the house. So pleasure, I'm giving myself permission to reach for pleasure, pinky finger, because I have quite enough of pain and quite enough of drama and trauma. And I know that I can rebalance myself with some pleasure, side of the palm or the karate chop point, with some relaxation and taking a break, a fast from the news, giving myself permission to take 2 days away or maybe you want to take a week away or the rest of your life away from the news so that I can rebalance myself and I can stay connected through the people I love. And I can begin to broadcast into the collective field my own sense of well-being, giving myself permission, cheekbones, to focus on what's working for me right now, what feels good in my life. Comfortable sitting here in my living room. Big exhale. I'm enjoying being with a very kind group of people, very real people. Meeting myself with love and kindness. Bottom rib. I'm needing revitalization. All of this chaos and uncertainty can be just exhausting. And I have so much to adapt to under the arms. Things keep changing. And as soon as I adapt to something, then it changes again. I love and accept myself, even though a part of me resists change and feels destabilized by it. Side of the thumb, I'm open to the possibility that the stability I'm looking for comes from my own rooting into the earth and coming out of my head and down into my body. Maybe I need to walk more or even run a little bit. Maybe I need to physically work this out through my body so that my body will calm down. Middle finger. I'm looking for wisdom and courage. I'm calling in that wisdom from within me. Bottom of the ring finger, and the wise people in the field around me. Pinky finger. When I'm supporting someone who's very anxious and troubled, sometimes I feel like it takes over my world too. Karate chop point. I can feel kindness for people and compassion and deep caring. I can even be of service without losing myself in the collective pain of humanity and in the collective fear of humanity. It's possible that those notes, that part of the spectrum that's so fear-based and anxious, has always been there and will always be part of the field. Eyebrow points. And I forgive myself for letting it take me over sometimes. Side of the eye. Sometimes my emotional immune system gets a little low or weak. Cheekbones. I forget to ground myself, check in with my body. What do I need? Do I need an Epsom salt bath? Do I need to watch a silly sitcom? Do I need to increase my meditation periods? Or play my singing bowl? Or play my drum? Or go for a run? You have your own ways to approach this, or journal. Do I need to be around people? Be around a person I can walk with? Socially distance, be around people in a park, if that's what you feel drawn to. Under the arms, maybe I need to fix myself really nourishing foods. Stop eating sugar or chocolate. Stop using caffeine. Base of the wrist. I love and accept myself. And it's understandable that I might lean into some of these habits for short-term relief. Well, I'm here for the long term. Index finger. The courageous part of me knows that I've got what it takes to survive. Middle finger, and maybe even thrive during these times. That I'm allowed to do that. Bottom of the ring finger. It's okay. I can still be a compassionate person, pinky finger, and not take on the suffering of the world or the suffering of others. By taking care of my own energy field, my own emotional body, my own thoughts, my own presence in the world. Top of the head, sides of the head, back of the head. I'm offering a service because I can show up in a reassuring, grounded, and calm way for my friends and loved ones and for myself. Brow points. I love and accept myself just how I am in this moment, side of the eyes, and all the times, all the ways that I feel. I'm just going to check and see. So I'm wanting to reconnect with myself because during those periods of chaos or anxiety, or I leave myself, I get too drawn into the news or get into my head too much or worry or anxious. I am ready to reconnect with myself. Come to the upper chest and just tap in circles to come home to myself. I'm still here. There's this me, this witnessing capacity. So within all of us, we have many parts. You could think of them as sub-personalities. We also have the witness, or what I like to call our higher self, who's always with us. Bottom rib. I'm calling on my own higher self. That's part of me, this part of me that knows where I come from, that knows that I come from love and I embody love, and that I have what it takes to be courageous in these times. Under the arms, there's a reason that I'm alive during these times. And it's most likely that the reason I'm here during these times is because I've got what it takes, base of the wrist, to be part of this transformational process, this rebirth of humanity and how we live. Side of the thumb, this rebirth of how our modern cultures have evolved so distanced from what's real. Finger, index finger, so distanced from the land, the very land, the earth that provides nourishment and sustenance for us. Middle finger, I long to be part of the team that helps renew and replenish our true deep relationship with the earth, with our home. This is our home as long as we're in a body, and let's make it as beautiful as it can be for us while we're here. bottom of the ring finger. I'm calling in great kindness and beauty for everyone in this tap, everyone who's participating right now and who may tap later with the video. I'm sharing kindness and courage, pinky finger, and wisdom, because it's available to all of us at all times. And I'm finding, side of the karate chop point, I'm finding the places in my body where I can receive wisdom. So for me, I'm feeling that in my upper chest. Just take a moment and feel into your body. You may feel it somewhere else, maybe the crown of your head or in your belly. So I focus on these universal waves of energy, one of which is wisdom. Just letting it run through you and around you and within you. My own wise nature. It's possible there's a deeper level of wisdom available to me now that's on a soul level. Back of the head. And if you want to sit and just feel into your body, that's fine too. It's possible that there's a whole nother layer of wisdom available to me if I'm willing to just drop into that space and welcome it. The space of wisdom that invites courage. We can call on a universal stream of courage as well. Courage is a function of the heart. The word itself, the origins of the word are core, just the heart. Deep into my heart, my wise, loving heart. Courage itself is a kind of strength. So I'm calling in this stream of strength as well. And so you may feel that just running like a river from the top of your head all the way through your body and into the earth. Just anchoring in this strength. So see yourself in a boundaried space. So this is your energetic boundary, and you can make it about arm's length around you, in front of you, to each side, behind you, above your head, below your feet. So I sense it as an egg shape. It can be whatever you sense, what feels most healing to you. Just notice the boundary there. It would be like the shell of the egg. That boundary needs to be porous. It's not rigid. And so what we want to do, and this is a vibrational attunement to the shell of the egg, only loving, benevolent, and helpful energies can penetrate the boundary. This is your energetic boundary. So even if you read or watch the news a bit, which I'm encouraging you to take a 2-day break from after this tap, but when you do, if you do, refresh your aura and this boundary before you tune in so that the energies of it stop on this outer boundary, the shell of the egg. And highly recommend, if it feels good to you, to call in a protector. It could be Kuan Yin. I work with green Tara. I work with the humpback whales. But call in protectors, so they could be trees or rocks, stone people, an energy, something that feels very protective to you, begin working more conscientiously with these invisible helping forces and energies, really tuning in, tuning your vibration, tuning your field, that you receive support for your courage, strength, wisdom, grounded in the body. And keep letting the energy from the head calm down, drop down, move down through the center of the body and into the belly and the root. Okay, so the news and the events of the world, as important as they may be, gets read at the shell of the egg. You can read it there. Everyone in this group is sensitive enough to do that. It's like being able to sense it. You know what the energy is. You don't have to empathically get caught in those energy streams, because that saps our strength. And just take a moment and be with the wisdom and the courage and the strength. And you can emphasize whichever one of those is strongest for you right now. Filling your whole field, your aura, the fluids within your body, within every cell. There's a certain sense of freedom here. Being more free. Grounded into the earth. So higher self can also help you maintain your boundary of your aura. So if you'd like to keep tapping, we'll go to the top of the head. If you want to sit, you can just sit without moving. Calling in a union of my higher self, this part of me that knows my true nature, that is very much my true nature. This part of me is an ally and great caregiver and friend to those younger or wounded or unhealed parts of me from this or any lifetime. The unhealed or hurting parts of me may still be under the sway of a belief in separation. And we're bringing love and kindness to any of those parts or even soul fragments that haven't found their way home yet. Reassuring these parts that get fearful or anxious or feel disconnected. Reassuring these parts, there's still a home for you here. You still belong. You are always welcome, no matter how you feel. So welcoming all of the hurt places and unhealed places within my own field, my own body, my own shadow, my own consciousness. Many, many lifetimes. We may have a few accumulations. It's welcoming all the parts. from this or any lifetime or any dimension that we, part of us may exist with. And just welcoming all the parts and knowing that the parts themselves, some of them may need some extra tender loving care. And we're just letting all the parts know there's so much courage here. There's so much wisdom and strength here that you are welcome even in your unhealed state, because I'm creating safety for all the parts of me to exist and be just how you are. Go to the base of the wrist if you're tapping. All the parts of me. The ones that need love the most may be the ones who have the hardest time, the parts that have the hardest time receiving love. And I understand that. Just making love available, making side of the thumb protection available, just a felt sense of protection. So take it to the amount of protection or safety or loving kindness that feels comfortable for you, index finger, if you're tapping. And maybe just a little bit more, maybe a little beyond your comfort zone, but not much, just a tiny. You want to push that edge just a little bit. And what we're doing is we're actually strengthening the nervous system in our body. Middle finger. My higher self is here with me at all times, in all places. Bottom of the ring finger, and I'm giving myself permission and instruction to stay connected to my higher self. Pinky finger, more of the time, to remind myself that I am so much bigger than my fears, my anxieties, my emotions. And that together we have so much strength, and just being clear and grounded and feeling steady and nourished, I can be of service in the best ways. I can be the most effective. Let's go to the upper chest. I love and accept myself just the way I am in this moment. So we're going to close up the tap here, and the way we finish is you can say 3 statements like that are positive. Maybe it's like, I feel calmer now than I did before, and you're tapping all over your body, your arms, your legs. Just kind of casual, waking up your body again, coming back into a different state of consciousness than where we've been. I feel more peaceful. I've really enjoyed the energy in this group. And I feel more positive. So good. Thank you.